Tell me what you're looking forward to about this season.
Well, first we'll just getting back on the practice on the football field. We've been practicing for so long. It's this point you want to play somebody, but then you look at the surrounding implications of this game, where you have the first Division II football game for Azusa Pacific. You get a chance to play an amazing opponent in UC Davis, so obviously FCS school, just a great reputation. Coach Biggs does an amazing job. His last year as a head coach and announcing his retirement. So there's so much going into it. I think for us, as the gravity begins to weigh in on the game, the thing you want to do is focus in on what we do. So it's an exciting time. Couldn't be more proud of the team and what they've done this fall camp, and also going all the way back to last spring and how they prepared themselves for this moment. So it's going to be good to get on the football field.
Then talk about your offense. This is the first year in several years that you didn't know who your starter quarterback was going to be. Talk about what that competition was like, and then the other piece of that is Luke Marquardt being named to the Senior Bowl watch list, only player from the GNAC to be named to that list. Just talk about what that means for him as well.
Well, starting off with the quarterback situation, like you mentioned, when you have a guy like John Vandenrat who leaves you after 4 years. I mean, he was such a staple of our program and did such an outstanding job of, I think, elevating the program to where we are right now. He's part of a lineage of players who really helped the program make a big turn. So now we're finding that replacement. I think what you do is you have to let go of the John era, knowing that it was special, it was exciting, but now you've got to adapt to the new personnel you have. And what John's strengths were his. Now, as we discover our new quarterback strengths, that's kind of where you adapt your offense to that. With the quarterbacks, with Nick and Tyler and Justin McPherson, it's a fierce competition. I think all those three are capable quarterbacks. We went with Nick Owens because we felt like it's just this pace that he plays, his velocity of his ball, how he can run. And also just the ability to have that quieting voice in the huddle of leadership. I thought he did a great job. So nothing taken away from those other guys. So they all did a fantastic job as well. But we feel like at some point you have to make a decision. I don't believe in splitting time with quarterbacks. I'm kind of a firm believer that if you have two quarterbacks, you have none. So you name a starter, you go with it. It gives the offense some continuity, and we move forward. As far as Luke goes, couldn't be more excited and proud of who Luke is and what he's become as a person, as a player. From the first time he walked into my office, asking for a chance to play football, to now, you've just been able to see so much growth in the human and also in just who he is as an athlete. So it's an exciting time. We feel like Azusa Pacific's a school that there's a place you can get to that next level and you can begin to perform and get eyeballs on you, but also you're going to balance it with that character development that we call building champions while pursuing championships, so that whenever you do take that next step, professional step, whether football or in the business community or in education, whatever you're going to do, you're ready to compete and continue your performance way beyond football.
And then defensively, you've got a couple of returning starters at both corners. You've got starters kind of up the middle. Where do you see the biggest strength of this year's defense?
Well, the secondary is their strength, and with that, the back end, you have some starters. So we have two corners that are very, very capable. We have the strong safety position. We have some experience in there. Guy like Spencer Danielson in the rover position brings a lot of leadership, a lot of enthusiasm for the game. But I also would be remiss if I didn't talk about Sean Barber. Sean being that Mike linebacker who he has to direct a lot of traffic and just spearhead the defense and bring the back end, the front end together. Does an outstanding job. And then if you go into the front end of it, Monako Toifua is a good, solid nose, and he's a senior now. He's had a tremendous camp. I mean, he's a 300-pound man who gets after it, and he wants to make this defense successful. And then also Jake Henderson now coming back, having 2 years of starting under his belt, now to his third year. I think physically he's at the best he's ever been, and so we're with that linebacker crew is really starting to be that physical play that we want to see.
This season seems to have a certain buzz about it.
Yeah.
Can you ever remember a time where Azusa Pacific football's been so on the local radar, being on television so often? Talk about what that means for your team and your players.
Well, I think what it does is it does give some credence to the Division II move, the NCAA move, and whether you like it or not, that branding of the NCAA brings a lot of weight to it. There's a lot of expectation of what that product will be now, and now the Southern California community, the Los Angeles TV market, they see it, they understand it. Now they want to know more. What's going on with this football program? It's been a long time coming. Of all the building all the way back to the 80s and even the 70s of just young men and coaches who continue to plow away at building this program. We just happen to be on that crest of it now, where the step into the NCAA just brings a little more notoriety, and so branding's everything, and then especially this day and age where we're at. So for our players to have the television reporters around the field, to have all the NFL scouts in the field, to have daily guests coming in, I think it's exciting for them. I think it validates their work ethic, it validates what they're doing. But more importantly, I think what it does is just it gives us that grander stage to continue to showcase all the great things that are happening at our school, which is, they've been ongoing, but now you've got the platform to be able to show it and bringing people in. The eyeballs are on it, which is exciting.
And piggybacking off that, how do you think it helps you guys prepare for when you go up to Davis? And it's going to be a great atmosphere. There's going to be a big crowd. And a lot of people there. Is that going to help you guys?
Well, I think it helps because your mindset now is that this is a first-class program. This is that top-notch program. This is there's those conversations that we're in now that are saying, oh, it's UCLA, USC, and Azusa Pacific in Southern California, and it's great to be in those three, and in that conversation of three. And so, the opportunity to play in this LA market and to play the high level football that we do, and to have this whole camp be mixed in with all these television guests and et cetera, NFL scouts, the player now it has a certain edge about him. He's ready to go. He's excited about this first opening game. There's a belief going on, and there's also I think there's just a value to each other to say, you know what, we're ready to take the stage for each other and to make this thing happen and go. And with UC Davis, it's all that you could ask for as far as an opponent. They're an outstanding program.
And then talking about UC Davis, a couple of their offensive linemen are listed in some publications in the top 10 of their positions in FCS. Where do you see, based on what you've seen on film so far, where do you see, I guess their biggest strengths? What are you guys gonna struggle with and try to solve that they do?
Well, they have an outstanding offensive line, and that is something we'll watch on tape. The way they work well together. They've got an All-American candidate at center. Their quarterback is an athletic young man who has able to move in the pocket well. They're more of a West Coast zone system, but he makes very good decisions. I feel like they have the vertical threat about you, that the play action is always there and it's deadly. Defensively, with their 4-down guys are solid guys across the board, and it's one of those things where they have the capability to win their one-on-one battles with the O-line. So, and then their linebackers, they really flow well, and so their front seven, as you include your linebackers, I feel like they're really solid, and the run game's a strength of ours. I feel like they really have the opportunity to kind of match kind of their strength, how they play the run too. So exciting team, and Coach Biggs always every year puts together a great squad. So we know that there's going to be a good one there when we enter that field on this Thursday at 6 p.m.
And then you took a team to play an FCS program in Nichols State the last time APU played one.
Right.
Ended up losing on a last-second field goal, but right there with the team, and they were their FCS ranked team.
Right.
Do you take anything? I know the teams are a lot different, but do you take anything from maybe how the team approached that game and maybe apply it to a game like this?
Well, I think what you do is you realize it's another opponent. That's what it is. Labels tend to define way too much in our society, and so for us, we're always going to be focused on just how well we can play and our very best. The labels of Division II, FCS, that's for some, it can almost define what the game's supposed to be prior to playing. For us, we don't live that way. We don't run our program that way. And our young men in this program, we're challenging them to be more than they can even expect themselves in the community beyond when they graduate. So far be it for us to say, well, no, this label is this way with this game, and so this is how it should play. We're looking forward to play football. When that ball kicks off, it kicks off. We've been working way too hard to shy away from the opportunity to play football. And so that's just how it goes. And so we learned that from the previous times we played our division, the SCS programs. We're excited. These guys train hard, and just as much as Davis trains hard, the player themselves, they're all the same ages. They're ready to play football, and we can't wait to do that.
This year you start off on the road. Last year was a different story. What's it like, kicking the season off and helping the camaraderie of the team, just helping you guys bond, being on the road? Right.
Well, anytime you're on the road, it's a fun time just because you do have that bonding, like you said. You're in the tighter quarters. We're busting to this one. There's an excitement just being together. So with this, starting on the road and the back-to-back weeks, it's going to have a chance to really toughen us up to gel that core group together all the more. As far as the worst part about it is that you do have to leave some of your team behind. And every one of my team members have done an outstanding job this whole camp of sacrificing and working and growing. And so that's always the hardest part, to be honest, for me, is when you have to post that final travel list and you're leaving some folks behind. It's brutal. So with the guys we do take, we say, hey, listen, you're representing more than just yourself, more than this 50-odd group that's going. So you're representing all the hard work that every one of your teammates have put together. And so when we take the stage, it's going to be, hey, you're playing not just for yourself, you're playing for the whole team and your whole families, and the school. So it's exciting.
We talked about the youth of this year's team. You've got a lot of new players in the starting lineup in the two deep. But you also have, I think there's 24 seniors on the roster, 22 juniors. How does maybe that experience translate to maybe having a little more experience than the returning starter number might tell?
The youth that the young people bring is outstanding. And as a coach, you're out there, you're so fired up because they're running 100 miles and their hair's on fire and they want to do well and get after it. And there's a fresh desire just to play the college football game. I think our veterans are gleaning from those young guys because it's just nice to have that energy again. But our veterans are also helping the younger players. So there's a good balance on the team right now where we have all this energy and youth, and there's going to be a lot of young people playing in this game this Thursday. With that, we know where as coaches is, hey, let's let them play free. Let them go for it. Let them have fun. Let them play their very best. By no means should we play tight. But this senior class going in, it's just been very good to see how they've integrated themselves, not only just with the true freshmen coming in, but the whole team. So there's a lot of trust in their leadership. And this senior class particularly has been around a lot of success. They expect success, and they've been working towards success. So this is something that I think is going to mark this senior class, is just their belief of understanding, hey, this is how we do it. We believe in how we do it. There's a conviction that's going to go deep, and it's going to be passed. The baton of that conviction is going to be passed on to these younger newcomers to our program, and I can already see that happening.
And then last week you were picked fourth in the GNAC preseason poll. How have you maybe changed preparation for a full season to compete in the GNAC? You've played single games against these teams in the past, but now you've got them week after week. Yeah. And just talk about what that's going to be like for you guys.
Well, it is different, and you are playing opponent week in, week out, good Division II schools. So I think what's happening for us is we know we need to balance with the amount of physicality we do in a week. We have to give plenty of time for the players to heal up as they get ready for that next game in the next week. The ranking itself is the ranking. I mean, that's for other people to decide. But we're here to decide is what happens on the field, and so we're going to do our part to make sure we balance a physical week of practice, a fast week of practice, but also understanding is that you do need to give them time to heal. And what matters is how we play on Saturday. And in that practice, we're always at this point now, we're focusing on real fast fits, focus on real fundamentals. With technique, we want to be sharp. Our coaches are over-exaggerating you know, in a good way of, hey, where are your eyes? Where are your feet? So those are the things that get teams in trouble. I've seen enough football on film and in person to realize that games are won and lost not so much by just the physicality of another team, but more of the little details that bite somebody at the wrong time.